Hey winners, I'm Chase McGee and you are listening to another episode of Winning Tips and Strategies to help you win in business. Thanks for listening and being a part of the winning movement. Without you, there's no me, and I greatly appreciate that. So let's introduce Branden Morris, a successful entrepreneur with a long history in business, leadership, finance, and management. His career has held a business development focus while providing companies with the tools they need for success. So we definitely had to have him on the show. So let's take a deep dive. Hey, Branden.
What's going on, Chase?
Nothing much and everything. How are you?
I'm blessed, baby. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you having me on your podcast. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, you know what? It's an honor, and I know some of the people saw our short, but very to the point interview on YouTube. So I just wanted to have you on so that, we can take a deep dive and get into more about what it is that you do.
Sounds good. Hey, I'm all for it.
All right. So let's talk about how you got started working with startups in the first place.
Man, corporate America didn't want me no more. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of being laid off. I mean, it was a story of frustration. Yeah. So as I tell the Urban League Small Business Program participants, oftentimes, when I'm teaching those classes, I'm a product of someone who was laid off from the exact same company 3 different times. The banking industry, and mortgage and in finance, commercial lending, all of that stuff is so up and down. Your destiny is not in your own hands. And so, I kept going back because they kept paying me kind of, pretty well, right? But it's like, if I'm trying to plan anything, plan a future, it's kind of hard to be on such unstable ground. So after that last time, I couldn't find another position that was able to come close to what I was making. And I looked around the landscape and I saw a lot of small business owners out there doing well. I admired them for their courage. I felt that I could do it. It was scary at first, but, I felt that I needed a few components that I sought out and I put together. And once I had those components together, then it made me feel better about really going out there and starting this business.
All right. So what I forgot to mention, and I love a good backstory and telling a good backstory. So what I do want my audience to know is how I even met you in the first place. I was I can't even remember which one it was, not the one before, maybe 2 classes ago in the Houston area Urban League, which I will be starting back again for the 3rd time. So, nice. I just love it there.
Nice.
So, and I heard your presentation. I was like, wow, somebody that gets it, somebody that's relatable. And I love the fact that you did business consulting and that you gave back, because that, that's my jam. Mm-hmm. And I love that in the first place. So what are some foundational things that an entrepreneur must have before they even think about going into business?
Well, I believe that they need to have a good understanding of the entrepreneur's life. The fact that your check is not guaranteed on the 1st and 15th. The fact that you're constantly going to be running down people and hounding people and checking with people on your money. The fact that every bid or every contract you go after, you may not be successful. The fact that you're going to have a couple of backup plans. The fact that you're going to have, people in your life who will support you and understand what you're going through, so that because a support system is huge, it's key. The fact that you're not going to do this by yourself, whether you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, or any kind of preneur, you're still not going to be by yourself, right? There's going to be some other key components in the form of other relationships you're going to have, other people, other resources that you're going to have to pull from to help you, be successful. Don't believe that you're going to be doing everything by yourself. Just because you feel like you can build a website doesn't necessarily mean that's the best allocation of your time. If it was, you'd be building websites for a living and charging people. Otherwise, you may need to put that in the hands of a professional, let them do that, and you concentrate and focus on doing what you do best.
Very true, because, they tell us, or we think in our minds first starting off, you got to be the accountant, you have to be the web designer, you have to do this and you have to do that, and you have to be so great at all these things, and you have to do it. And then you get into burnout, and then you get frustrated, and then you don't want to do it. And then you become a hobbyist versus an entrepreneur.
And it's very key what you're saying, because and to a certain level and to a certain degree, you do have to be all of that. You do have to wear all of those hats, but understand those levels. You see, the thing about entrepreneurship, and I believe in my philosophy in life, it's not black and white. It's one huge gray area, right? So it's not that you have to do all of that or you don't have to do any of that. It's that you have to do certain degrees, and you do what you have to do until you're able to bring someone else in to take off some of the load so you can focus on other areas to strengthen your organization, So like for me, I do all of my own payroll, and I do all of my own tax preparation and stuff like that to meet my CPA halfway. That's the lifeblood of our business, is the tracking and the flow of money. So at this particular point in time, I just don't have enough trust in somebody that I would hire to just turn that over to. But when I do hire somebody, I'm going to spoon feed them. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not going to just say, hey, here's all my books, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, go get this money from these people and just do you. No, that's the lifeblood of your business. I'm going to spoon feed them. I'm going to give them a little bit. I'm going to watch them. Okay, if they can handle it and they're proving to me that, I'm going to give them a little bit more and watch them. And so it's all levels, Our very first website, I messed around and I kind of put something together, whatever, with the help of somebody else. But then soon after I saw how crappy it was, but I needed a presence on the web, I put a little more money into it, got somebody to be more full-time on it, and I leveled up. You see what I'm saying? By the time we went through a few iterations over this past 5 years, the website, I'm not saying it's the best website in the world. All I'm saying is it's a lot better than it was when we first started. So it's levels. It's degrees. Don't think that everything, you don't eat a hamburger in one bite. You take small bites. You got to chew it. You got to ingest it. You got to feel it, So yeah, it's levels. It's a gray area with business.
For sure. It's definitely a gray area. So I know you always emphasize on the business plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that in entrepreneurs that are like, I really kind of don't need a business plan, or why do I need a business plan? Why is that so essential? And what does that look like? Why is it so crucial that an entrepreneur has a business plan?
So this is what I believe. It's crucial that you have a business plan based on where you are with your business. So for example, and well, not only based on where you are with your business, but also what the purpose of the business plan is for. So for example, if you've already started doing your business and you just kind of been doing it off and on, and then you just kind of, so, you're already familiar with the process and everything like that, and you're looking to scale up. You don't really need as much of a formal business plan, but you need some business strategies on paper. You need some direction. A business plan is just a format to help you focus your efforts. That's all it is. So I don't want people to think that in order for you to start a business, no matter who you are, you have to do this business class 40-page business plan from soup to nuts and stuff like that. That may not be necessary. However, if you're somebody who is looking for, a bunch of investment money from a venture capitalist or an investor or something, then they're going to want to see a more of a formal business plan, because they're going to want to see specific things. If you're somebody who's, investing in this from your own pockets and you really don't need any outside, investors, but you're getting some bank lending, they don't want to see a 40-page business plan. However, they would like to see a couple of pages of some strategies that you have with the direction of where you're going with your company. So you have to be open to, again, that sliding scale and adjust. If you're somebody who's in the very infancy stage of even thinking about starting a business, you're not quite sure what you want to do, and you're still trying to find your way, then doing a full business plan is a great practice for you to understand what questions you need to answer, who your competitors are, what type of marketing you need to do, the importance of branding, how you're going to brand yourself, what's your operational procedures, different things like that. You need to, the business plan gives you those bullet points for you to address and answer. And if you've never started a business or you're just in the thinking of it phase, then you need to know, what lies ahead, right? But if you're already, we have a lot of people that come through the Small Business University here at the Houston Urban League's Entrepreneurship Center that, basically they may already be in business. And so it's like, okay, well, look, I just want to, increase my capacity. I don't know how to hire good help. I'm doing too many things. I'm wearing too many hats. Well, you don't need a full business plan for that. However, there are sections in a business plan that will address that. So you can kind of go to focusing on that particular section. And I kind of term that as you focusing on a strategy to increase your capacity, or for whatever strategy you want to use to do what you want done in your business that you have already going. But, so it just really depends. It's a sliding scale. Again, it's that gray area.
And, I'm glad that you said that, because business plans stress me the hell out.
As they do most people.
I stressed out to the point to where I was like, if I have to have a business plan, I think I will quit my business, because I'm not that type of person. I'm so detail oriented, like with each project and each thing in my business, it's so well organized. And like when my clients see it, they're like, oh my God, how did you do this? How did you find time? And I feel like it's literally more detail than a business plan, but it's just breaking it down by project. So I have books for everything, for every project. If it's an event,
with the sticky notes,
what does that look like?
Yes.
From date to cost to the sponsors to every single detail. And people ask me, why do I do that? And I said, God forbid I pass away, and this company will go on without me, because everything is in the manual. Everything. From start to finish, from the date of concept to notes on how it went and if it was successful, if not, and what to implement, what to change, what to add. And so they're like, yeah, that's way more than a business plan, but it works for me. So I had my clients, kind of try it out, and they're like, I kind of like this, because it's not like I don't focus on the overall thing, but that one thing at a time to break it down, because that seems simpler, that bite-size thing versus, oh my God, because I think it's overwhelming. And that's what it was for me. You're telling me I got to put my whole business and all this stuff in this plan. And I'm like, what do I do with that? So, and I'm like more of an execution plan. That's kind of more how I kind of stage it. So, for those that are out there like me, there are alternatives. If business plans stress you out.
Right. And, to be quite honest with you, I think that it also comes down to semantics. Those folders that you have are business strategies. Those are manuals. Those are aspects of business plans. They're not things that are worlds apart. Those are what you have are like mini business plans, right? The purpose is really to keep people focused, because sometimes we as entrepreneurs, we as creators, we as people who want to take over the world or just realize our dream and whatever that is, our mind gets a bit scatterbrained. It's a natural thing, right? We believe we can do everything for everybody in every which way. And a business plan in some capacity, in some way, shape, or fashion, kind of focuses our thoughts. Okay, we need to focus on this because this is important. So let me research this, and we need to focus on that. Now, I will also say this: experience is the best teacher by far. Okay, yes, once you start going through some things, then you're going to learn a lot, but it's going to hit you a little bit harder, right? However, if you do planning before you execute some of these things, you could potentially avoid a more serious blowback. So that's all. It's all under planning. Okay, whether you want to call it business planning, strategic planning, strategy folder, whatever you want to call it. It's about putting some thought, effort, work into something before you execute it or go all in. It could save you some time, it could save you some money, and it can make you maximize the resources that you're using at that particular time. Not just financial resources, but people resources. You can wear people out too.
Yeah.
You know, you're sitting here coming at people, man, I need you to, can you do this? And, oh, can you help me with, and you know, I got this. And man, I'm fishing, man, I'm about to, you wearing people out. You see what I'm saying? Like, people need to see somebody focused and on point with what they have, you know? So your business strategy, whatever you have on paper, if it looks succinct, if it makes sense, then you have a better chance for success.
Very true. So, and I totally agree with that. So we got this strategic plan or business plan or whatever the case in place. Mm-hmm. What's the next step? What do we do? What do we do? Where do we go, Branden? What are we doing?
So this is, it just really depends on where you are. You know, some people need money. Some people are trying to launch something that is going to take a significant upfront startup cost. Right. And they may have it and they don't want to use their money. So they're trying to figure out how to best spend their money, or spend somebody else's money, how to get somebody else's money, how to leverage the money they have to get somebody else's money, which is something I always recommend. Or they don't have any money, or they don't have enough money and they're trying to get more money. Are you trying to get more money from a lender? Are you trying to get more money from their mom? Are they trying to get more money from an investor? You know, because there's approaches to each of them. I've hit up every potential money source that you could hit up. Short of loan sharks, I've almost hit them up, right? Because, you know, I'm a believer in us investing in ourselves and getting the big payouts for ourselves, right? I have this fantasy about Black Wall Street. You know, I buy into us being able to, you know, get to know each other's businesses, get to know each other's work ethics, get to know each other's, you know, business ethics. Can we work together and spend money with each other and invest money with each other to build a better community and a better, you know, institution that we have here in Houston, which I believe is a great network and a great institution. So you have to identify what your true needs are. Once you've identified what your true needs are, then you should come to, you know, the Houston Urban League at the Small Business University at the Entrepreneurship Center downtown at 1301 Texas Avenue.
Great plug, Branden. Great plug.
And, you know, it is a free resource to the public. It is sponsored by many grants like Coca-Cola, Wells Fargo, the Port of Houston, UPS, Ford Motor Company. These multi-million and billion-dollar entities are investing in the small business infrastructure here in Houston. And specifically, they are investing that money in the minority communities because they want us to be more educated and to be more prepared to do business with these larger entities and just do business in general to be more successful. So if you have questions about how, you know, where to go next, there's many consultants here, Latasha Norwood, Philip Yates, Eric Goody, who is the vice president, and speaking on behalf of Judson Robinson, our great esteemed president of the Houston Urban League downtown at 1301 Texas Avenue, Houston, Texas. So, you know, and this is not just the Houston Urban League Entrepreneurship Center. You have the MBDA, which is the Minority Business Development Association. You have the SBDC, which is an organization sponsored by U of H in Midtown. They help you do research and they help you with strategy and planning. You have HTC, the Houston Technology Center, if you're a technology-based entity. You have, you know, the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity. You have no excuse, if you're an entrepreneur in Houston, Texas, to not have a resource to reach out to figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it.
This is a fact. No.
I'm just saying, like, I get happy because, you know, it's funny. I talk to people and entrepreneurs from other cities and they envy what we have. They envy the setup that we have here in Houston. You can go right up the street to Dallas. Dallas is it's a different. I love my Dallas folks. Okay.
Thank you, because I'm from Dallas. So.
Okay. I love my Dallas folks, but the small business infrastructure looks different. And you don't have as much of a communal willingness to help the fellow entrepreneur as you do here in Houston. So I believe if you're in Houston and you're an entrepreneur, you need to take advantage of the resources that are provided in this great city.
This is true. So now we're at the point that, you know, we need to go to the Houston Area Urban League to go ahead.
1301 Texas. Mm-hmm.
Yes, to make sure that we, you know, we get some assistance and we get that free help, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know that you've sat on a lot of panels for people that pitch, and there's another resource, you know, free money out there. And we talked about some things that people really just don't know. One, a lot of people didn't know that there's a lot of free money out there that you can go ahead and get. Mm-hmm. But how should they prepare? Like, what goes into the whole preparing to pitch, and what should they be asking for? What do they need to do?
So, you know, pitching, and I'm glad you brought that up. Pitching your business is something that you're doing on a consistent basis, regardless in life. Okay. You're always selling. You're always selling. You know, you can go back to great movies like Glenn Ross, or Boiler Room, or Wall Street, or whatever those, money hungry, just go after it business types, you know, how they do that mentality. But you're always selling. You're either selling me on what your business can do for me, or you're selling me on how your business can't help me. But you're selling me. You're selling everybody you talk to. So why not perfect the way you sell to people? Why not work on and constantly try to improve your approach with people to understand the reaction that you're getting and what that means, how that relates to dollars in your pocket, how that relates to additional business. And these pitch competitions, it's just another avenue, a free avenue for you, in most cases, for you to enter in, talk to a bunch of people who may not be familiar about what you're doing. You don't know who else is in the room. So you could be, talking to a future investor or venture capitalist who can give you money for your business. They really like your business. And most importantly, just become better at talking about you and your business, your value proposition, how you are better than the next person, how you can, save the whales. Do whatever you need to do. You need to that's your pulpit at that time. You need to get up there and think about, all of the pros about your business and how you can combat the cons in other people's businesses. Where are you filling a niche in the market? Where are you filling a need in the market? And be visible. You can't be a wallflower. You can't be that, I just want to be in the background. I want to be, under, what do they call it? Incognito and, all that stuff.
Because they're scared, Brandon, because they're introverts and they don't want to put it out there because they don't know how to speak and they get nervous, Brandon. That's what happens.
I understand. But you know what? Closed mouths don't get fed. That's what my mama said. You dig what I'm saying? I'm trying to eat. I'm just being real. Right? So if you have these opportunities to eat and you hungry, then what you gonna do? Look, everybody needs to always, I think, as a human being, as the base root of a human being, everybody should always be looking to just be better. If you're one way one day, the next day, how can you just be better? Pick something to be better. I didn't come up I'm not like Beyonce. I didn't wake up like this, right? 30 years ago. I didn't come out the womb like this, and the people who say they did, I think kind of, on the cool, they a little bit, they tripping. They just saying that because it's popular or whatever. Okay. No, we evolve as humans. We learn, we find things that we admire in other people or situations or companies, whatever. We find the best in something else and we try to assimilate that into our own character, into our own vernacular. Okay. Well, same thing is with business. Okay. If you started out as a so-so Christian and you kind of used to go to church, just on Easter and Christmas, and you want to be a better Christian, then what you going to do? Well, you're going to talk to the Reverend Deacon, Dr. So-and-so, and, you're going to get mentored, and you're going to look at their mannerisms. You're going to read the Bible more. You're going to do whatever you got to do to become a better Christian. That means you're going to start to go to church more. You're going to start to practice. You're going to start to pray better. It's the same thing with business. It's the same thing with business. If you want to be a better husband or a better wife or a better father or better, whatever, you have to commit to it. And so it's the same thing with business. Business is just another aspect of life, and you have to want it internally. I believe that too many people believe that just because they woke up and they walk in a building that they are owed something. No, I don't care. Look, let me tell you something. I'm in competition with the next man like everybody else, right? And so if I have the opportunity to get business and to try to be better than my competition, that's what I'm going to be. If you need to, use the competitive angle, if you need to use the, whatever does it for you, you have to know yourself. That's a big thing. I don't want to get ultra spiritual and everything, but it's all about knowing yourself. Man, I know I don't sound ultra spiritual. I'm not the Dalai Lama. I ain't no Buddhist. However, you know what I'm saying? A little meditating from time to time wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Just so you can know yourself. Because once you know yourself, then you know how to come out as a better version of yourself, just through just looking inside and everything. So, yeah, if you need help with that, you come to the Houston Urban League with the Entrepreneurship Center at 1301 Texas Avenue, and you talk to one of our consultants, and we'll help you.
And you know what, though? And that is so true. Even though I tell people I've been like in spurts through the whole time going through the program. So I know as many times as I've been through one complete time, but however, I'm going to go through one
still coming cycle. Back. That's what I'm talking about. I'm
still coming back. But you know what I've learned each and every single time? I have narrowed down my target audience.
Okay.
So every single time I've gone back, I'm like, no. And by watching other people pitch and watching their mistakes, and hearing sometimes not what they say, but what they don't say, I'm like, yeah, that means I need to go back and redefine something. And so that helped me. Every time I go back, it helped me know from my business, because of what I do, the need. So listening to the need, I was like, oh, I found it. I got it, because I was so indecisive for years. And I told, my listeners, for years, I was stuck on, I think I want to help this group, but no, I really want to help this group, but I don't know. But it took going through the program a few times to be like, I got it. I'm not a slow learner, y'all. I'm not.
It's interesting you're saying that, but you participated, you came. You have to get out there. It's a part of networking. All of those different groups that I named, and there's scores more, there's tons more. Become a part of something, participate in something, visit, to network and observe and ingest and take in, your environment, so you can have a better handle on what you could potentially be doing with your business. There's so many different parts, Chase. Girl, look, I can bend your ear for hours. I know you don't have that much time. You don't want me on you, talking to your people that long. YouTube got a time limit. I get it. But, there's so many factors involved in being a successful entrepreneur. Success is measured in so many different ways. But let me tell you something. If you're out there doing it and you're persistent and you don't give up, then that's a measure of success. You understand what I'm saying? Because every decision you make is not going to be the best decision. It's just not, right? But you learn from it and you tighten things up and you alter things here. You evolve things here. You change things here. You go harder in the paint right here. And, and eventually you'll get whatever measure of success that you deem successful in the end. For a lot of people, it's money. For a lot of people, it's fame. For a lot of people, it's, helping the most amount of people. It just depends on what your measure of success is. But that's why I say you have to know for yourself. You can't go in guessing. That was something that really helped me, years ago before I even started my business. I knew I needed to work on myself because I had a lot of misconceptions of what success was supposed to be. Or, I was young, I'm still kind of young-ish, but I was young and immature. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the gray hairs fool you. I'm still vitality. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But, I want to say it was about, 9 or 10 years ago when, I was working in the arts. And I was running an art gallery with a friend of mine. And so I was doing a lot of art brokering and stuff like that. And that gave me a chance to step back from corporate world and really focus on, myself and what I was really about, who I am as a person and what I'm really think I'm supposed to be here to do. And once I got centered, once I got more focused and I kind of got through a lot of the noise, then when it was time to launch my business, things just started to happen a little bit smoother. You know what I'm saying? It might be kind of hard to explain. I may not be explaining it right, but that journey I took in discovering really what I felt was my purpose here really helped me in being focused and running my business. It helped draw the people I needed to in my life. My business partners are awesome. I couldn't do this without them. Right. But if I had the wrong focus, I wouldn't have drawn them to me. You see what I'm saying? I had to get rid of some people in my life. Some people weren't good for me. Not everybody you grow up with since you was 2, little Nook and little Ray and everything like that. Everybody's not good for you right now. You evolve and you move beyond some things. And I'm not saying you forget the hood, you ain't keeping it real. I ain't saying all that. But what are you keeping it real for? Who are you keeping it real for? What is real? Whose definition of real are you subscribing to? Are you being real to yourself? That's the question. Are you being real to yourself? I'm telling you, once you become more centered, so many other things in life become so much better, and you breathe better, you feel better. I'm telling you, it's woo, I can get on some Dalai Lama type stuff right now, but I ain't gonna do that right now. We about this business right now. You know what I'm saying? But I cracked a book or two. Right? I'm just saying.
This is right. And you do have to, I tell people all the time, you have to change your mindset and you have to change your circle in order to get to the point where you need to be. And sometimes it may be uncomfortable for you and it may be uncomfortable for them, but you have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable.
That's right. That's right. Step out of that comfort zone. Oh, yeah.
You do. So what are some common mistakes that you see often with startups?
Oh, using your own money. We see a lot of people that come and, they come from the professional world. They come from a world where they've saved money in their savings account or in their 401k or some IRA or something like that. And when they go to launch their business, they pull directly from that money and they use that money as a test sample, as a guinea pig to try to launch their business. And when everything doesn't work and they're starting to run out of money, well, at that point, that's when they want to come and seek help. Well, see, if right when you still had the money in your bank account, and I'm speaking as a former banker, if you keep the money in your bank account and then you come and look for how you can best spend money, not your money, but money, use your money to leverage getting other money. Because let me tell you something. These people don't use their own money when they start these businesses. They use their money to get more money. But you worked hard for that money, okay? You got up at 6 o'clock in the morning and worked till 8 o'clock at night in some, cubicle somewhere and or whatever, and you put that money back. So you work hard. Keep that money, right? But there are ways to use what you're keeping to leverage to get other money. Now, I know what some people like to say, and it's crazy. Debt has become a bad word, okay? Debt is not a bad word. Debt is a word. Bad debt is bad, okay? Bad debt is bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not crazy, right? If you're sitting there and you got $5 in your account, but you got this credit card you're going to use to go buy that new Gucci purse for, $800, well, that's a bad investment. That's bad debt, right? But if you have a couple of hundred in your account, but you have this credit card that's earning points that you're using to invest to buy materials for your business. So you're investing in your business. So with those materials, you're going to make money to pay back that money. You've earned points by using your card, and you pay down the debt. Then that's okay debt, right? You're using your spending power and your spending ability to invest in your business to get more business, to make more money. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even if you don't want to use credit cards, that's fine. Leverage your savings or what money you have or good credit, because you need, at least decent credit, and go get a business line of credit or a business loan. It's going to have a lower interest rate, and you use that money to invest in your business. You see what I'm saying? Right. Stop using y'all's 401ks to fund your business, okay? Because when you use it up, it's gone. You ain't getting it back for a long time, okay? So I'm look, that's the thing that irks me the most, because that's typically when I see a lot of people, and they just don't know. They only know what they think they're doing right, but there's so many different other ways to fund a business. So that's probably the biggest thing, and one of my biggest pet peeves. I try, hopefully people will hear your podcast and they will say, hey, I heard what Brandon was saying on Chase's podcast, and I want to win too. So I'm going to go down to the Houston Nerve Entrepreneurship Center, 1301 Texas Avenue. And I'm going to talk to Branden Morris or Philip Yates or Latasha Norwood or Eric Goodney. And I'm trying to see how I can not use my money so I can get my business off the ground. You know what I'm saying? You got to use your resources. Be smart about this, okay? I'm telling you, we ain't brand new to this. Okay?
You for sure have to use your resources. And I'm going to make sure that they use their resources. We're going to get the word out. Do not use your own resources.
Not use your own resources.
Other people's money. So you know what? Well, with that said, then we're going to have you back on the show so we can talk about business credit so that they can understand about not using your own money. Because I think that's a separate show in itself, because people are not, they're just not educated on that. And that's what we do here. Give them the tips, tools, and resources to help them level up in their business. Right?
Sounds good to me. That's right. That's what it's all about.
All right. So one last thing before we go, what is the most challenging part of your business, and how did you kind of find your groove in business?
Oh, the most challenging part. Well, I don't know if it's the most challenging part, but finding good people is sometimes difficult. So that's where a lot of people feel like they have to wear all of the hats for their business at all times and do everything to the most granular level. And what I've learned is, don't go into you running a business thinking like the corporate job or the job you came from, where it's an already established business where they can afford to hire people and keep people on W-2 payroll and this and the third. You don't have to do that. You're a small business owner, all right? You gotta make it work. So what I've learned is to understand what specific task I need done and be ready to hire a contractor or hire someone on a contract to just do that one task, right? So like, say for instance, if my books are a mess, right? I don't want to hire a full-time bookkeeper. However, if I need somebody to reconcile all of my QuickBooks and I'm just too lazy or just don't feel like doing it, I'll say, hey, look here, I'll pay you $75 to go in and reconcile my books from January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018. Okay. It's a very specific task. It's not a lot of money, but I get so much done. And that time it would have taken me to do it, I can use in another aspect of my business. I got a real-time example, which is why I was running around today. We have a contract with a pretty big governmental agency, and it's to do some pretty manual labor. Now, don't let the pretty face fool you. I get out there and do some manual labor. Like, I throw in some elbow grease. I ain't scared of manual labor, okay? However, it's not like I'm just rushing to do it, right? But, we lost a couple of people, and so I had to do what I had to do. So I'm out there at my warehouse, and I'm sitting there, working. I'm working. I'm like, God, no, this is ridiculous. It's taking me 4 hours to do something that I could have used that 4 hours to do something much more productive. All right. So what I did was I kept scouring and trying to find people, who can do what I needed done. And I found this guy. Man, I'm so happy I found this guy. And the nicest guy in the world, professional, had his stuff together. And he was able to do this ridiculously manual labor for me because he has the machinery to do it in much less time. And for what I have to pay him, it's extremely reasonable. So my margins are still going to stay, pretty favorable in my favor, right? And I just drop off the items to him to do what he needs to do. I save time. I don't have to get the arthritis because I can't be doing all that stuff that I was doing. And it doesn't eat into my margins that much. So, it's about finding those particular situations. He's not on my payroll. I'm going to send him a 1099 at the end of the year or something like that. But he's not on my payroll. I just needed something to get done. So it's about being smart about how to grow your capacity and, being able to sparse out responsibilities for a good price to different contractors, freelancers, or whoever that's out there that's able to do it for a good price. Because you're not going to do this by yourself. You hear that, entrepreneurs? I don't care.
You're not going to do it by yourself.
You're not doing it by yourself. There are people out there that's going to help you grow your business, grow your capacity, And me, I knew when I started my business, I was going to need people to help me out to balance me. I'm a Libra. I'm all about that yin yang. You know what I'm saying? All right. Okay. See? So yeah, it's, once you have that balance, you can bounce things off of people and when you're down and you're not feeling too motivated or invigorated or whatever, you got that somebody to, give you that pep talk, or people to give you that pep. Look, trust me, there's strength in numbers. And I realize that above anybody. I don't need all the credit. You may see the face. I may be the face of the company, but that's just because that's where they pushed me to. You dig what I'm saying? I acknowledge all my partners, and all of them are awesome and great. Everybody who contributes to Basil Solutions and Basil Construction and MH Basil Group and, MHB Hospitality and all of that stuff. Everybody who contributes to these companies, they are extremely important. I love them to death, and they know it. I show my appreciation all the time. I couldn't do it without them.
Aw, and I'm sure they appreciate you as well, Brandon.
They better. I know that.
So we have come to the end of the show, but I have to ask you a very important question that I ask all of my guests. Every question is different. No one has got the same question. So It's a very fun question. You can answer it any way you like. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What would your pet say if we were to ask for a reference?
My pet? What would my pet say if you
about you if I asked for a reference?
Shoo, boy. Well, wow. Whoo. Okay. My pet probably seen some pretty wild things about me, and they would probably say, Branden Morris is a very, very much of a gentleman. He loves his mama. He takes care of the people in his life. He's really big on community. He's dependable. He's really big on once he gives his word, he tries to move heaven and earth to keep that word, because he believes that your word is your bond. So don't say it if you don't mean it. And so he would say that, he got a few socks in his sock drawer and has got a few holes that he need to be throwing away, but he's so lazy. He don't like to shop for socks. That's like a pet peeve. Like, why do socks get holes so quick? And hold on. Why do we not have to, I keep all these onesies. So I got a sock drawer full of just onesies, there's mismatches, and I don't like to throw them away because I believe that maybe from 5 years ago, I'm going to find that missing sock somewhere and everything like that, and I never find it. But my pet will probably be a little pissed off that I keep those onesie socks and everything. So, yeah, that's probably what they would say.
You know what, Brandon?
I don't know what to say about that boy, Brandon. I mean, he's just a little thrown off, you know, but hey.
I don't think I've ever gotten an answer like that, but hey, okay.
Hey, you know, he is who he is. And, you know, he's just out here trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. So he can maybe buy some more pairs of socks, but he's still going to throw away them old socks because that's just not what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's just going to be standing in the drawer. Maybe once in a while, I try to go through a rummage and try to match up the socks. But, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, you know, there you have it, world. Okay. There you have it. Well, you are definitely winning in this space, and I am so happy to have had you on the show. Tell everyone where to find you and how to connect and stay connected with you.
Thank you, Chase. Well, I appreciate you having me on the show. You can find me on www.basilsolutionsllc.com, or you can go on our Facebook. We have a Basil construction page. We're doing some great things with our construction company, doing a lot of work in the Third Ward area right now. We're working on our project in New Orleans. So you can find us there. You can find me on LinkedIn, Branden Morris. Or you can come to 1301 Texas Avenue to the Houston Area Urban League Entrepreneurship Center, where you can find me all the time. Appointment only, though.
Appointment only. Okay.
Right, you know, your boy got a calendar around his mug, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Well, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the Winning Brand podcast and bringing your expertise to the show. All right, everyone. Well, there you have it. Branden Morris with Basil Solutions. As we wrap for the day, everyone, remember, there's no shortage of remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them. Until next time, bye.